The X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X-Zone Radio Show or endorsed in any manner by Rob McConnell, rel-mar McConnell Media Company, the X-Zone Broadcast Network, its affiliated networks, stations, employees, or advertisers.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the X Zone. I am Rob McConnell, and we're coming to you from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. If you'd like to send me an email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, on all social media sites, X-Zone Radio TV, and to find out about the programming we have available for you 24/7, 365 on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net. And we're coming to you around the world on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, Talkstar Radio Network. Which one am I missing? Craig, Mutual Broadcast Network, iHeartRadio, and Simul TV. My guest this hour is Joey Korn. He is a modern-day mystic, spiritual teacher, and global teacher in the world of dowsing. Joey's primary focus is in personal energy clearing and remote space clearing. In recent years, his specialty in his remote work has become clearing energies that can cause paranormal activity. Joey condenses many years of dowsing exploration into a unique and extraordinary system of practical understanding and application. Joey shares this knowledge in the revised edition of his book, Dowsing, A Path to Enlightenment. His website, joeykorn.com. I'm sorry, that's www.joeykorn.com and dowsers.com. Joey, welcome back to the X Zone. Great having you with us again.
Good to be back.
My goodness. Do you still use...
Dowsing.com would take you somewhere else. joeykorn.com or
dowsers.com, right.
Right to me.
Well, that's where we want our people to go, is right to you, because you are the dowser man. You know, Joey...
Well, that's what I do.
That's what you do, and you're well known for it. You know, we've had you on the show several times before, but for those who haven't heard you, who are new to the X-Zone Radio Show and the different affiliates and broadcast centers we're on, tell us about dowsing and how you can use it, and how you, Joey Korn, got into this field.
Okay, dowsing started with when people think they don't know what dowsing is. If they think back, they probably heard of the old-timer being able to spot or pick a place to drill a water well with a forked stick.
Sure.
And I don't use a forked stick, even though I've done that. I use L-shaped rods called L rods. There are many dowsing tools for different purposes. I have spotted a few wells in my life, but after 2 dry holes out of 6 many years ago, I said, this just isn't for me. But there's many other uses for dowsing. You can use dowsing to find lost objects, buried treasure, purportedly minerals, oil, water, answer yes/no questions. Wow. A lot of people do with the pendulum. And I don't really do any of that. I've gone through all of that, tried really worked hard at a lot of different things, but I keep being led to using dowsing to detect subtle energies, and especially I focus now on subtle energies in homes. I consider dowsing rods, especially the L rods, to be like divine tools that we can explore this world of spiritual energy that cannot be detected by any scientific instruments. They're just not sensitive enough. But our homes, our beings in our homes and our world is filled with energies that connect each of us with each other and everything else in the universe. The ancient mystical teachings tells us that. Modern day science tells us that. But modern day science can't find these energies. We can learn to find it with dowsing. And I focus on space clearing. That is, from the beginning, I've been dowsing, since 30-something years. I forget the year. I think 86. What fascinates me most is dowsing in homes, and because that's what affects us day in and day out. And we are always affected by the energies that are in our living environments, but more importantly, we affect the energies. Our living environments are like macrocosms of the energies within us. They're reflections of us. So that's what I focus on, and I help people create more beneficial and healing energy environments to support them in their lives.
How does dowsing work? What is the science behind dowsing and getting those L rods to help you?
What I think is that the rods or the pendulum or whatever, or the forked stick, there's no magic in the tools themselves. The magic is within us. These energies, as I said, are affecting us day in and day out in very subtle ways that most of us can't feel. Some people who are quite empathic can feel the energies, but they're affecting us basically all the time. And so when you learn to use a tool, what you're really doing is externalizing a response to the energies that are within us. And even when you're looking for water, you're basically looking for the energy of water, in my opinion. So there are responses within us that cause these tiny little responses in our muscular system, and that we can't feel, but we can learn to experience them by extending it to the dowsing tools. So that's basically what I think it is. And some of the people that are naysayers say, well, it's just minute muscular movements. There's a word for it. I forget. There's nothing really to it. I say, yeah, it's minute movements in our own little muscles that cause this, but we don't consciously cause it. We can just learn to externalize this response that's going on within us, and we can learn to be very accurate at it, depending on what it is that we're trying to do.
Joey, how did you get started in dowsing?
I've been fascinated, Rob, from a child on. There's a lot of westerns on TV. You'd find dowsers with, an old timer would find water maybe in the desert. I think Grandpa and the real McCoys found water one time with a forked stick, and in the Virginian, there's an episode with a dowser, and so I was fascinated many times. I tried to cut off a forked stick from a willow branch, which is one of the most commonly thought of kinds of tree that you make rods from, and it never seemed to work for me. And I just thought that I didn't have the gift, and that's what was always perpetuated in these old movies. Or shows that you have to be born with the gift of dowsing, and I've found once I learned how to douse, by that time I was 23, and now I'm 65. So once you learn how to do it, or once I learned how to douse even with a forked stick, I realized I was just holding it wrong from the very beginning. And you also have to believe that you can do it. And I didn't think I would be born. What's so special about me? Why would I be born with this special gift? But once I learned how to dowse, I could do it, and I could use any dowsing tool.
Wow. How many people do you think that you've taught over the years how to dowse?
Oh, many thousands. I don't know. When I say many thousands, actually taught through my book and through my lectures and workshops. Yeah, thousands, and website, of course, and in person, it's been probably several thousands too.
My goodness.
I've been doing this. I've been dowsing a long time, teaching family and friends before I started doing it professionally. Mm-hmm. But I've been doing this as my livelihood now for 21 years.
Good for you, Joey. You and I have to take our break. Please stand by. X-Zone Nation, Joey Korn is my guest. His website is dowsers.com. That's DOWSERS.com. And Joey's book that has been revised is currently available. It's entitled Dowsing, A Path to Enlightenment. This is the X-Zone. I am Rob McConnell, coming to you from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't forget, the latest edition of the X-Chronicles newspaper is now available online at www.xchroniclesnewspaper.com. And take a look at Simul TV, X-Zone Nation. You get video games, movies, channels, networks, and of course, the X-Zone TV channel is there with our great programming that everything from the world of the paranormal to the science of parapsychology and much, much more. That's www.simultv.com. We'll be back on the other side of this break. Don't go away. Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone broadcast network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember, 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
You have heard of the X-Zone? Now watch it on Simul TV, plus 500 video games, live TV channels, free video on demand, worldwide, and more. Does this sound like tomorrow's television? Well, it is, but you can have it today, right now. It is Simul TV. Simul TV offers what the others only wish they could provide. 15 exclusive channels like X-Zone, Sci-Fi, and Horror. We are worldwide. No other provider offers that. 500 built-in video games. No need to have an extra expensive system. We have them included. Free video on demand. Live streaming events from around the world. Interactive online network, and much more. Tomorrow's TV today. Simul TV. Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. You can have Simul TV today. Sign up at simultv.com. Do it today.
Gwilda Wiyaka's latest book, The Science of Magic, Book of Mysteries, Volume 1, is the first book in a series based on her writings that open every episode of the Science of Magic radio show. Drawing on the subject matter of each guest, and armed with over 40 years' experience in shamanism, 35 years in alternative health, and degrees in psychology and religious studies, Gwilda introduces relevant and leading-edge information that supports spiritual evolution and personal empowerment. Rich with wisdom and inspirational quotes packaged in digestible segments, this is a book that will pull you from cover to cover. It will also serve as a daily inspirational reading for years to come. The Science of Magic Book of Mysteries, Volume 1 is available at our website, tsompublications.com, amazon.com, and wherever fine books are sold. Welcome back, everyone. This is the X Zone. Joey Korn is my guest. His website is dowsers.com, and the name of his book is Dowsing, A Path to Enlightenment. Tell us about the space clearing that you do, remote space clearing. This has got me intrigued.
Well, I learned to do remote dowsing many years ago from another dowser, or from other dowsers.
Right.
And the typical way they do it, I think just about every dowser except myself will get a diagram, ask you to send them a diagram, a hand-drawn diagram of the home, if not a plat, if they have that, and you can actually douse the energies somehow through the diagram, and I did that for a while, but and you do that typically with a pendulum and a ruler, a straight edge, and that really seemed to be working for me. But I don't like, dowsing with a pendulum about the energies, asking questions or whatever about the energies. I like experiencing the energies myself with a pair of these L-shaped rods, these L rods. So it occurred to me one day, if I can find the energies through a diagram of the home and the address, why can't I make my home the diagram? So basically, I say a blessing. I do all of my energy work with prayer and blessing. I say a blessing to connect to the remote home. I usually have the client on the phone with me, but that's not necessary. To create an energetic connection between my client's energy pattern. Now, this is what I focus everything on, and their family's energy pattern, and all the energies of the home that I connect it all to my home, and then for all intents and purposes, when I get that blessing done, I've created an energetic connection. There's a holographic imprint, let's say, of the remote home over my home. And I can douse throughout my home and find all the energies in the remote home. And a lot of dowsers wouldn't even, or other kind of space clearers wouldn't even begin to take that step, because I bring a lot of what you might call detrimental or not, it's pretty not so good energies into my home every day, if not several times a day. But I found the way I do it is very safe, and it's reliable, and I'm helping people that can be anywhere in the world. All I need is a name and an address, and I can connect to a person and or to a home.
Now, since you and I last talked, your specialty has evolved to clearing energies that can cause paranormal activity. What kind of paranormal activity can this energy cause?
Well, it can cause all kind of weird things, but there's two primary causes that I've found of paranormal activity. One is what I call interference energy. I used to call it entity energy, but I don't like that term, entity. So interference energy is the most common, and the most common kind of energy that I find in homes that causes paranormal activities, and earthbound spirits is the next most common. And both of those are more common than people would think. Now, people think about, have heard about earthbound spirits, of course, because these are human beings who have died and have gotten stuck in the astral plane and are still hanging around a person or a place. This interference energy is different. I consider it to be a human condition, and we attract it into our lives when we go through difficult times, especially when we go through traumatic times, and we enter intense negative states of mind and emotion, like going through a healing crisis, like cancer, or even if you're in remission, all the negativity and fear and misery involved in going through the treatment process and worrying about it, or a breakup in the family, or some people that have mental and emotional problems attract this energy. And what this does is it creates a connection between the earth plane and the astral plane. And there are many beings, or what you might call consciousnesses, in the astral plane that cannot typically affect our earth plane or us, even our energies, because it's a different dimension. But once these doorways or connections or portals are opened up by this, creating this interference energy, then they can. And in time, the beings in the astral plane can learn to manipulate our living in our physical environments. They can learn to turn lights on and off. They can learn to blow equipment out. I don't know how all this happens, but it happens. They can knock things off of walls or shelves, or some. I've even had had my clients tell me about. They've actually had water turn on and off, with the handle, the water handle to turn the water on and off actually turning, or the light switch actually flipping. And they can also make loud noises, bangings, rappings on walls. And for the most part, I don't think it's dangerous. But it does lead to a lot of fear. And to me, it's fear and other negativity, anger, things like that these negative beings thrive on. And I really consider it to be, somehow they're not human beings. They never had life on Earth as a human being like an earthbound spirit, but they somehow are created. They're somehow related to human activity, and I think created by human negativity. You might call them thought forms that take on an existence of their own.
But Joey, how can
and they can, a lot of other weird activities can happen.
Let me ask you this, Joey. How can you fight something that you don't know what it is?
Well, I don't really fight it.
What do you do?
I've learned to find this interference energy, and this is something that I don't think anybody knows about but me and people that have learned from me. Most people who do space-going think the energies are causing the problems, like the earth energies, for example. And there are several kinds of earth energies. But what I've come to understand, if the earth energies or the natural energies in our homes are out of balance or detrimental, something is causing that to happen. And so I wanted to know from the very beginning, why is this energy detrimental in the first place? And in this search through the many years, about 11 years ago, I began finding this interference energy. And it sets up as vertical columns of energy. And in fact, I have an article in my website that explains it in detail, along with Earthbound Spirits. It's called Things That Go Bump in the Night. And it's well worth reading. I tell you how it sets up, what brings it in, where to find it in the home, and how I clear it. But it sets up typically, for some reason, in bathrooms and closets. Like it'll set up in typically 2 bathrooms in a closet in different places in the home. And it'll typically be a closet that you can't even walk to, like a linen closet, walk into like a linen closet with shelves. So what I do is I find this vertical column of detrimental energy that I call interference energy. I know right where to look for it in my home, and if I'm physically on site somewhere, I start looking in bathrooms for it. And then I connect to the energy, and then I basically say a blessing, I pray to God, and I call on the forces of nature to do whatever is appropriate to create an ideal energy environment for the clients, for the people I'm working with, or my loved ones, and immediately it just disappears. And all its negative effects, it causes all the natural energies in the home to be detrimental. It also increases the negativity that brought it in to the person that brought it in, and it also increases negativity in and between other people in the home. So it can increase anger. It can exacerbate depression. I don't think it causes a disease, but it exacerbates the symptoms of disease. And dogs and cats bark or hiss often at nothing. And The dogs and cats can be, and it can be a good indicator of energy problems.
Is it possible that some of these energies are caused by the electromagnetic frequencies and energies that we as humans put out, as well as the working of certain machinery and the microwaves that are used for cell communications and the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth, apps? And
a lot of people, Rob, are really focused on that and really fearful of it. But that's why I said this interference energy causes all the natural energies in our home. And even though electricity is ultimately a natural thing, we use it in unnatural ways, and all of our homes have EMF. But what's unique about EMF and my work even, and if people sign up for my newsletter online on my website, they'll get access to a whole chapter.
Joey, we've got to take a break. Please stand by.
Sure,
Joey Korn is our guest.
EMF in a few minutes.
www.dowsers.com. That's www.dowsers.com. And we're going to be back discussing more with Joey Korn as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't forget, you can check out the latest edition of the X Chronicles newspaper at www.xchroniclesnewspaper.com and check us out on Simul TV at www.simultv.com.
Broadcast studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, to the world and beyond. You're watching the X Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net.
AVS Media Demo.
The scientist and the mystic have been on an age-old, relentless search with one thing in common. They seek truth. Their paths converge in the 40,000-year-old practice of shamanism, an ancient science delving to the quantum level of life, facilitating healing, manifestation, and evolution. I'm Gwilda Wiyaka, the founder and director of Path Home Shamanic Arts School, a unique Colorado State-certified occupational school, training shamanic practitioners and teachers. We also provide classes for empowering personal lives through shamanism. Our certification classes are in week-long segments enabling international participation, and online classes and long-distance shamanic healing sessions are available. Come discover the science of magic in the limitless world of shamanism. www.findyourpathhome.com.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X Zone radio show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X Zone broadcast network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365. Rob McConnell here, presenting an overview for Nicholas Paul Jennings, author of a fascinating book, Amen. It presents facts revealed by Egyptologists, facts that enable us to understand why Amen is the beginning of creation of God. It provides recommendations for religious leaders of the major religions to unify their beliefs and teach the Word of God. Love one another. Amen informs people how mankind conceived God. It was the Egyptians that developed the concepts of a soul, a hereafter, and Son of God. And finally, after the worship of many gods, they conceived the belief in one universal God, the maker of all there is.
For more information, visit www.futureofgodamen.com. That's www.futureofgodamen.com.
Joey Korn is our guest, www.dowsers.com. He's the author of Dowsing, A Path to Enlightenment. Joey, continue on your topic of electromagnetics.
Yeah, there are, you can measure electrical fields with devices like Gauss meters.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I call the physical electrical radiation from the device. But remember, subtle energies can't be detected by any scientific instrument that I'm aware of.
So, let me ask you this question.
But everything in the physical world has a subtle energy counterpart.
Let me ask you this question, Joey. If we can't measure them, how do we know they're there?
Well, we can measure them with dowsing. Okay, so we know the physical energies are here. Mm-hmm. Because the electrical fields, and that's accepted by science. But these subtle energies, believe me, are not only here, they're impacting us day in and day out. And you can actually take a pair of dowsing rods, walk towards your computer screen or towards a mobile phone or a refrigerator or a microwave oven and ask for detrimental energies radiating from the device. And if you get any responses, if you learn to get any responses at all, they're like one of the most easiest to get responses to. And they're almost always detrimental right out of the box. However, what makes them unique among all the energies I work with in homes, you can bless the electrical fields and make them beneficial, and they will stay beneficial. Even after a power outage, even after unplugging it and plugging it back in, it'll be beneficial to you. And a lot of people that are really against or fearful of the EMFs can't accept that in their minds. But the natural energies, conversely, will change as we change. The natural energies of our homes are reflections of us. They're like cosmic reflections of the microcosmic energies within us. So as we change, we're changing the natural energies around us, what dowsers call earth energies. I just consider them to be different forms of different manifestations of the life force. But these electrical fields, I could demonstrate very easily that they are weakening to us. They radiate from almost all electronic appliances, and we can make them beneficial with a simple blessing, simply asking whatever you consider the divine to bless the device and the energies radiating from it, and it'll happen. And what I was saying before the end of the last episode, if your readers want to get a little better understanding of this, if they sign up for my newsletter on my website, and I only send out 3 or 4 a year. Mm-hmm. I don't plague them with it, but they'll get a couple of access to a couple of audio interviews. But they'll also get access to Chapter 15 from my book, which is all about blessing electrical fields to help us in life. And you know how people are so fearful of some people are so fearful of smart meters.
Yep.
One blessing over your smart meter, properly stated, meaning your intent is to make the energy beneficial, and you ask that it become blessed and be blessed and become beneficial. Immediately it'll change and it won't revert back.
All right. Why do prayers work or blessings work? Where's the power come from?
The power is within us. And what we're doing is we're calling on a God-given gift, the power to bless things. When you focus, you've heard where intention goes, energy flows.
Yeah.
Okay, so anywhere you focus you're directing energy there. Anything that you use your mind, use your rational mind, let's say, to ask God or whatever you consider the divine. You could call it, I also use the term powers of nature,
right,
to bless an object or an energy field or a person or a home or a whatever. Whatever you bless, whatever you direct your intention to in this manner, will charge it with energy in a more lasting way. So we can direct energy. What we're doing is, you could use a term almost interchangeably, blessing and charging with energy. And then when you define when you define in your blessing work what you want that energy to accomplish, that in whether you're blessing a person, a place, or a thing, or an energy field, you're defining a specific frequency that you've defined by using your intent. It really works, and it's something that I can easily demonstrate in a matter of minutes with anybody in person.
This seems more religious than it does scientific.
I'd call it spiritual.
Oh, what's the difference?
Certainly crosses religious boundaries.
Right.
So many religious people today don't use blessing anymore. If you think about it, people do a lot of thanking God, and gratitude is important for us. But they're often just thanking God, and for even when they sit and people who bless over every meal won't eat anything without blessing it or without saying a prayer first. What they're typically doing is saying grace, and they're not asking to bless the food, and it doesn't charge the food unless you ask in some way for that food to be blessed or charged with energy.
So
then you're charging it with life force.
There's so many people out there with so many different ideas, so many different concepts, so many different perceptions, ways of doing anything. How is the public supposed to know who to listen to and who's real and who's not?
Life experience is what I would say. Everything I do is demonstrable.
Right.
I guide in my book. I guide from the first two parts. The book is in 3 parts. The first 2 parts describe my journey from the time I learned to douse back in '86 until about 18 years ago. And then part 3 is all about my current understandings, what I gained in many years of dowsing. And in my book, not only do I tell you the stories of what I experienced with dowsing and blessing, but I guide you through exercises that help you experience it along the way. And I'm telling you, there's something that I've developed, a very simple blessing called the simple blessing process. And if you bless somebody or yourself with the simple blessing process, it'll totally clear or balance that person's energy pattern. And that's what I focus everything on. We all have a human energy pattern. And if you balance your own energies, it'll also balance the energies that you're reflecting out into your living environment. And if you bless your loved ones, it continues to improve that. You bless the electrical fields, it makes it even more beneficial. And people can just feel it and see it. But with dowsing, and a combination of dowsing and muscle testing, you can demonstrate it to yourself again and again and again that it really works. And that's what I love. That's what I love about dowsing. So many people call themselves light workers, or they go to workshops or various trainings or read books about becoming a light worker or working with the light. And with dowsing, you can actually find that light, that invisible light that's everywhere around us and within us. It's so real. And but I'm with you. You got to be skeptical today in this, especially the alternative spiritual world,
Sure.
but also the more traditional spiritual world of religion. You have to be, you have to take it all in with a grain of salt and really see what works for you.
See what works for you. I think that's the key word here. And you also have to realize that just as with any other service, buyer beware. Do your homework.
Right. But let's for example, where I get confirmation almost every day, my clients are calling on me for remote sessions. Well, I call it remote spiritual house clearing or house cleaning, or space clearing, and they're calling on me because they have problems. Almost all of them, almost 100% of them, have interference energy in their homes. It's typically brought in by people from outside the home who happen to be energetically connected to the home because through the imprint of their human energy pattern.
Right.
So the truth is really bared out to me every day because I remove this interference energy, and if I find earthbound spirits, I help them move on. And the people, their people's lives, and I bless the homes, bless the people and the homes, and all the energies of the home, and people's lives change.
All right, Joey, stand by. We've got to take our final break. Please stand by.
And can
all right, Exonation, Joey Korn is our guest, www.dowsers.com, and Joey and I will be back on the other side of this commercial break as we wrap up this hour here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.
You have heard of the X Zone? Now watch it on Simul TV, plus 500 video games, live TV channels, free video on demand, worldwide, and more. Does this sound like tomorrow's television? Well, it is, but you can have it today, right now. It is Simul TV. Simul TV offers what the others only wish they could provide. 15 exclusive channels like X Zone, Sci-Fi, and Horror. We are worldwide. No other provider offers that. 500 built-in video games. No need to have an extra expensive system. We have them included. Free video on demand. Live streaming events from around the world. Interactive online network, and much more. Tomorrow's TV today. Simul TV. Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. You can have Simul TV today. Sign up at simultv.com. Do it today.
The new nonfiction book, Razor of Madness, is similar to cult movies like Clockwork Orange, Dragon's Tattoo, or The Other Side of Hell. Wayne Morin Jr. and Thomas Lee Howe will expose widespread and systematic deficiencies in this thought-provoking tell-all novel. Mind control rages among scholars in law schools. Human rights are ignored while thought reform and mental manipulation are accepted practices used as behavior modification. Dr. Louis Jolyon West comes to mind. Media and public scrutiny shows that United States mental hospitals are in fact destructive murder industries. Razor of Madness expose novel details this epidemic through an in-depth professional and personal investigation. For decades, there has been a revolving door policy that still releases killers and pedophiles back into society. The maestro of mind control continues to haunt America to this very day. Razor of Madness is available in paperback or as a downloadable ebook at Amazon.com.
I'm William S. Peckham. If you enjoy a good mystery with a touch of the paranormal, then you'll love my novel, From Out of the Woodwork. It's the story of a young Toronto contractor, Sean Kennedy, who buys derelict homes, guts them, and turns them into multifamily dwellings. Slums just waiting to happen. When Sean buys 29 Livery Lane, the house fights back. Former owners unexpectedly come out of the woodwork as he starts the destruction. The apparitions come to him when he touches old books, reads hidden letters, rummages through old boxes, finds a locket, or reads a discovered manuscript of a murder mystery. From Out of the Woodwork will take you from 1899 to the horror of the World Trade Center, September 11, 2001. Check out From Out of the Woodwork on my website, www.williamspeckham.com.
Joey Korn is our guest this hour, www.dowsers.com. He's the author of Dowsing, A Path to Enlightenment. We were talking earlier about blessings, Joey, and how do these blessings work?
Well, like I was saying, when we focus on something, we send energy there.
Right, okay.
These energies are actually dowsable, or the changes in the energies are actually dowsable. You can find these energies with dowsing, and you can experience them more physically with muscle testing. And whenever you bless anything, we are blessing beings, and I think we were born to do this, and we were given life to do this. And when we direct our intention to something and ask it to be blessed, we're charging it with energy, with exactly the frequency that we focus our mind on. But if you think about it, most of us are doing a lot more fear and anger and negative thoughts and emotions rather than positive blessings, purposeful blessings. So when we're focused on the negative, we're pulling in the negative. We're creating more and more detrimental energy, what I call detrimental rather than negative energies for a reason. But we are then filling and surrounding ourselves with unbalanced energy. And the more positive and and the loving you are, the more you filling yourself with positive or beneficial energy, and not only filling yourself but surrounding yourself. So you can actually, like I said, what do most people, if this is really going on, and I know it is day in and day out, what do most people spend more time doing? Thinking negative thoughts of anger, frustration, feelings of overwhelm, depression, all this stuff, or are they stating purposeful blessings, asking God or whatever they consider the divine to help them in life and to help others in life?
In a perfect world,
people are focused on the negative.
In a perfect world, of which this will never be, I could understand that train of thought. But people have to survive. The world is not a nice place, Joey. Nothing you can do, nothing I can do is going to change that. Stress of everyday living is a reality in the year 2018. No matter what job you have, you're under stress. No matter what you do, you're under stress. Kids are under stress at school. We as a race have set the limits and the rod so high that we're causing the majority of our own stress.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what do we do?
We can make changes in our lives.
And how do we make these changes?
By asking God to bless you, to help you in your life. And then when you do that, you're number one, changing energies right away. And number two, you're going to be more and more, if you keep doing it, you're going to be more and more guided for the good things to happen to you. And I'm telling you, when we can, with what I've learned about this interference energy, and I'm teaching people about it regularly. Here we do retreats in our home quarterly here, and I teach them to work with all these energies and change them. We're actually changing the what you might call negative energies that we or our families or our friends have brought into our lives and into their lives. And it makes a huge difference. We can make a difference in the world. When you just make whatever change you make for the good in your own world, in your own life, you're helping mankind to that extent. And I truly believe and know we can make definite positive changes quite regularly and fairly easily in our lives.
All right, if that is the case, how come there's so much hate, fear, and stress in the world?
Everybody's not doing that. And you might call that the battle of good and good over evil. You know, people say, well, if I can bless, I teach my students, you can bless an object, or you can bless an energy field, or you can bless all the energy fields in the home, including the human energies, and to make changes. So they say, well, why can't we just bless the whole world? Because you can bless larger pieces of property too. Why can't we just bless the whole world and bring peace? Because how many people are out there hating and angry and mentally disturbed and wanting to do harm? That is the real battle of good over evil. Man creates evil.
And
with our own negativity.
All right, but mankind was created by God. Therefore,
so
it is God. Wait a sec.
There's even a place in the Bible.
Hold on here, Joey. Joey. If you're not going to let me talk, I'm just going to have to cut you off.
Evil.
I see he doesn't want me to continue Exonation, so we're going to say goodbye to Joey. People who are so self-centered that they don't want to let the other party be heard really upset me, especially when we're giving this guy an hour to promote his book, to promote his thoughts, to promote his beliefs. And what does he do? He tries to bulldoze the conversation. I'm sorry. You want to do that? Go ahead, but not on my show. And it seems that as soon as you take what they say and start turning it about and pointing the finger back at them and what they're saying, that they talk and talk and talk and talk and won't listen to reason anymore. He was saying that, just bless electricity, bless the negative forces, or what does he call them? Blah, 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 blah. The interference energy, and it'll all go away. Well, let's see. The energy, the blessing that you're doing is coming in the name of God. But didn't God create us? So therefore, if God created us and we are causing the energy because we are made in God's image, God's likeness, the finger points back to God, no matter which way you look at it. It's a circle. It's a circle. And yes, I believe that living in a binary existence as this existence is, and I don't believe in alternative universes. I don't believe in all these different dimensions that New Age practitioners and woo-woos believe in. These are the people who do not have the ability to think for themselves. And they look for people, because they are so weak, like Joey, who says, you know what, I've got the answer. I can make all your problems go away. I can do this. I can do that. But you know what, Exonation? There's a cost attached to it. These people do not do all this wonderful, godly work for nothing. I will bet you, and I didn't ask Joey, that there's a charge for his gourmet dowsing retreats. Hey, I agree that everybody has to make a living. But if you're going to go out there and profess to the world that you are blessing and you're using a God-given gift by God the Creator, or whoever you believe the Creator is, and you're doing something for the good of the people, the good of the earth, do it for nothing. Because if it's a God-given gift, how dare you charge to help people? To me, it's criminal. It really is. And if it's not, it should be. There is so much negativity in this world, not caused by the people who are out there working Monday through Friday, who are doing their very best for their families and helping mankind, humankind, wherever they can, whenever they can. That doesn't create negativity. It is the people who claim that they're doing something great, who have all the answers. They put them in books because they love being thought of as authors. They do all this. Why? The negativity spawns them money. It's a cash cow, X-Zone Nation. The paranormal world, the New Age world, the world of spirituality is a business. If people were to do all this wonderful work in the name of humanity, helping out their fellow man and not charging for it, then I could see it as something wonderful. But this is a business. And these are people who are wolves in sheep clothing. They prey on the weak. They prey on those in need. They prey on those who have money. And I'll tell you something, X-Zone Nation. There are so many of these people out there that this is why I've decided to expose them all. Let the world see these people and what they're doing for what it really is. It's not for the glory of God. It's not for the glory to help their fellow human beings. It's in the glory of getting as much money from people as you can. That's what it really is about. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with the news as we continue here in the X-Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Check us out online at www.xzoneradiotv.com, and to get your complimentary copy of the X Chronicles newspaper, www.xchroniclesnewspaper.com. I'll be back on the other side of this break. Don't go away.
Modern Esoteric, Beyond Our Senses by Brad Olson, consummates the lifeology story about where humanity originates. It is the lost continents, the primitive wisdom, the mythos of creation, and the rethinking of ancient history as we are taught in academia. There is much more to the story than what we have been told. As this is the first book in the Esoteric series, Modern Esoteric starts at the beginning of time and accelerates up to this modern age. Future Esoteric is book 2 in the series and takes a forward-looking position ahead of today with an open and honest examination of the ET issue and various unexplained phenomena. To discover the writings of author Brad Olson, visit www.bradolson.com. That's www.bradolson.com. Are you or is someone you know struggling with addictions, depression, anxiety, relationships, low self-esteem, lack of confidence, grief, success, and prosperity? Do you know that your subconscious belief plays a big role in the outcome of your hard work? We can help you permanently change the beliefs that may be the reason for your struggles and failures. We care about getting you the return on your investment and the results you are looking for. We can help you be free of the limitations of your past and in realizing your highest potential. We work with people by phone and Skype. For more information, visit us at www.ritasoman.com. That's www.ritasoman.com. Do you think you have energy problems in your home? Do you feel better when you're away than when you're home? Joey Korn is a global leader in the world of dowsing who specializes in personal energy clearing and space clearing. He can help you create an ideal energy environment in your home no matter where you live in the world. Learn about his remote spiritual house cleaning services and much more at www.dowsers.com. You can get Joey's book, Dowsing, A Path to Enlightenment, as well as other dowsing books and tools, Kabbalah books, and Walter Russell books. Joey's work is really amazing. Go to dowsers.com right now. That's DOWSERS.com or call 1-877-DOWSING. That's 1-877-369-7464.